Hey everybody, Billy back here, Broship of the Nerds, here to talk to you about Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, Episode 6, Scars. Now, I'm not going to go through everything that happens, but big things here. Imogen and Tabby they found a lead. Basically, Imogen gets a call asking about Angela Waters and her mom, and a guy is the one talking to them and invites Imogen to the train station. So Imogen and Tabby show up to the train yard, and there's a man living there, and he tells them about Angela, how he had a thing for her, and basically that the friend group, the moms of the main characters, took her away from him. So they were close for a while, but things happened because they were both kind of outcast. But the friends pulled her away from him, and he still has some bitterness there. And he tells them that she was at Radley Sanatorium, and so that means we're going to Rosewood. So Tammy and Imogen talk to the other three, and they say they have other things going on. Farron is dealing with her rendition of The Black Swan, and her mom's going to be there as well as a big time agent, basically. Is going to be there to watch. So she is worried about that. Noah is dealing with her mom, and Noah's boyfriend, Greg, goes and talks to her mom after mom had agreed to go to rehab, but then we find out that she's still doing drugs. She pays some sketchy guy some money for some drugs. And then Mouse has a date with Ash at the bowling alley, but the guy named Steve won't leave her alone. He calls her and said, "Hey, it was a one time encounter to be able to kind of say your goodbyes to your daughter, kind of thing, to move on." And he says, "Okay." So then he shows up at the bowling alley and says that he's her dad, and she plays along with it and tells Ash, "I'm no longer hungry. Let's get out of here." So for Mouse, I'm really worried for her because you have this creepy guy following her, and he's an older guy, and she's still in high school. So you have a minor being followed by an older gentleman posing as her dad. So that's very weird, and I think Mouse needs to get out of this immediately. Like, hopefully by episode 7, she does, because this is getting very, very odd. Um, so that's what's going on with Mouse. And like I said, I hope with things in Ash work out, but I'm a bit worried for her. We have the Radley situation, which it has now been turned into a motel. So Imogen and Tabby go there and try to get some information, but the guy working behind the desk said that they have a guy that works there that is named Eddie Lamb. Unfortunately, he's off right now, but she could talk to them tomorrow because Eddie will be back to work tomorrow. So they asked for his number, and the guy behind the desk says, "Hey, we don't give out employees' information." So they decide to go ahead and pay for a night, which I think shocks the guy working there because he doesn't think they're going to have the funds to do that. So that she hands him quite a lot of money in order to get a night at that motel. And she says, I haven't been so comfortable in so long. Well, I'm going to stay in." Tabby decides to go out, and you see an homage to Pretty Liars. They have what they call Ezra's books. There's another one on top of the Caleb reference with the medicine bottle in episode 4. We now have a reference to Ezra Fitz and with the bookstore, and she meets this guy from Rosewood, and he says, "You're not from Rosewood because I would have remembered a woman like you." So it kind of is that, and then it shows them in the car, and he's going too far, so she is like yelling at him to stop, and then you find out that never actually happened. It just showed what she thinks would happen. So she still has some trauma for whatever happened to her at this party because her and Imogen were both assaulted. That's how Imogen got pregnant, and they think maybe it was the same guy, but Tyler, who is now deceased, was not at that party because he was on a vacation. So we know it wasn't him, but somebody did something nasty to these poor girls, and hopefully karma gets him later. We'll see what happens, whoever this was. So they find out from Eddie Lamb that Rose, Angela Waters' mom, who is played by Susie from Stranger Things, was at the sanitarium for different reasons. And basically, she had six visitors, or five visitors, he says, under A. Walters. But then when they look, when she's taking her nap, Imogen is, Tabby notices there are six different ways that A. Walters is signed. So there was some sixth person who went by A. Walters. So now we know that whoever the sixth person was either was really close to the Waters family. I keep saying Waters family, or that is A. A is the sixth person. So we're trying to figure out who A is, who would have been close to Angela, and whoever signed as this A. Walters could have been it, the sixth one at least. So he did confirm whenever a picture was shown of the five moms that those were the people that were there as A. Walters before. He recognized them, but we don't know who the sixth one is. So that's the great mystery here of this episode. And then you find out that Farron is in competition with Kelly, and Kelly gets a text, Kelly or Karen, and she gets chased by who he assumes A in a different costume, more of a theater costume, and she finally yells, I'm Kelly," but I'm still not for sure on this because she does give off Karen vibes at times, so maybe she really is Kelly, but I can't solidly say for sure what I think on that. I have my own theory. Whenever they had the party, in a past episode, Greg went to go get Noah a drink, and then we don't really see him for a bit, but we don't really see Noah either, so it isn't really a solid theory. Also, Wes is really creepy. He wasn't in this episode, thankfully, but yeah. So that's what's going on there, and then you find out with Farron, she's with her dad and mom at a restaurant, and her mom is home, Corey Bryant, and she set an appointment for plastic surgery to get the scar covered. And the dad says, only if this is what you want, Farron. I don't think she's really sure, but then she says, yeah, let's check it out. She goes to the doctor. The doctor says it's going to be very high risk. It's going to be very invasive. And the mom is playing it off like whatever. But the dad, I think, was right in that it should only be if she wants it. She decides not to go through with it. And then she finds out from her procedure for her scoliosis, the doctor recommended not having the procedure because it was only a minor to mild case of scoliosis. There was a chance it was going to get better as she grew, but the mom still had the surgery done for her. So the daughter, Farron, when she gets a new picture taken that shows her scar on her back, and then when the mom walks in, she freaks out because the picture updated profile says that she had a surgery that was forced on her that wasn't her own decision, forced onto her by her mom. So the mom freaks out, Corey, and she gets in the car and she's upset. She takes off. And after the performance is done, she comes out and her dad says, we got to go, we got to go. And I believe his name's Zeke. He says, we got to go. Your mom's been in a horrible accident or in an accident, and we don't know what her status is. That's the end of the episode. We don't know if it's really an accident. If A maybe did something, but we'll find out more next episode. And this A, whoever this A is very proactive. They are really doing a lot of damage, and so far they've killed quite a few people. We've lost Angela at the beginning. Of course, that was on her own, but we found out she was actually physically assaulted. Things were done to her, and hopefully that piece of crap is taken care of later. And then we also know Tyler's gone. Davy, which is Imogen's mom, she's gone, and we're pretty sure A did that as well. Uh, Other moms could be targeted next. Corey got that letter from A about the surgeries and stuff, or scars, I should say. The episode was called Scars, and it was very appropriately titled. So there's just a lot going on with a lot of these characters, and it's a really well written show. We also found out after Radley's Sanatorium closed, some of the people were sent other places, and some of them were sent to the Sisters of Quiet Mercy in Riverdale. So Riverdale is connected to this universe, which is really cool. The question is, would Riverdale be connected to the original Pretty Little Liars as well in this universe? Because that is just mind blowing to think. It does make sense since the people behind this worked on Riverdale and Chilling Tales of Sabrina, or Adventures. Um, really good episode. I'm really liking the show. It's really tough to figure out who A is at this point. We still don't have enough information. I don't think we know this person signed as A Walters or Waters. I keep saying Walters. A Waters, and we know they probably care about Angela and the family. But there really isn't too many solid suspects, I would say, at this point. And we haven't seen the sheriff for a bit, so we really don't know exactly what's going on here. But we do know that somebody is out for the kids of these parents that committed the original sin. The kids, though, I'm hoping end up being better. And by the way, other news, it did post that it was the series finale in big red letters. Apparently, that's not the case. It still hasn't been decided whether or not this is only going to be a one season show or if we're going to get more seasons. So, more information to come on that. And I will be doing a review for the next episode here soon. Hope you guys are well. That is what took place in episode 6 of PLL Original Sin. And it is a great show so far. I hope you guys take care.